Greetings, everybody. My name is Patricia Freudenberg, also known as Patty from New York, and I am a certified end of life coach and founder and CEO of Missugram, a global solution to cope with grief, mourning at the speed of life. And I guide you to recovery through legacy. Today, I am here to share a beautiful perspective on grief and mourning, as my book says, A New Spin on Mourning. That's the truth. It's how do you look at things? And I sometimes think of great authors as mentors, right? However, the wonderful Wayne Dyer, Dr. Wayne Dyer, the late Wayne Dyer, I heard the quote first from reading one of his books years ago, and he's mentioned when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Then, as I started doing my journey in certified end of life coach and taking the courses, I continued education, and I took a course and the course was exercising leadership. It was a accredited course, and I remember the first lesson was change the perspective. So when you're in it, like in grief, when you're in it, it's hard to really see out of it, right? And if you can somehow imagine being on a balcony and looking down at what's going on, it just might change your state of mind. So this is just one example of how I coach and teach and share. It's all about resources, right? And tools, research, analytics. You put them all together and then you make logic out of it, right? And sometimes you recycle and make a whole new way to do things. So anytime you get information, usually it's something important. Knowledge is important. That's how we learn. That's how we grow, right? Where would we be without knowledge and books and information? Really think about it. But going back to grief, I like to share resources that either worked from my own experience or from testimonies I've heard, or from the lessons I learned becoming a certified end of life coach. Now, I do want to disclose I am not a medical doctor and I am not a licensed therapist. However, in my certification, I did learn that if someone seems to really not find any sense of hope and starting to say things that may seem you not logical and expressing things that might be of great concern for the safety of themselves or others, the first thing I always say, please seek medical attention. You may not need it, but you may need it. And it's important that you seek the proper help. So when you come to Patty from New York, me, you will be in a position where you are ready to recover and you have the capacity to make that effort to take matters into your hands, and you are willing to do the work to create new habits, which results in new conditions. With that being said, I do want to share a few of the things I talk about and really dive deep. And this is not a coaching session. I just want to give you a little bit of an array of areas of focus that I really love and do with not only purpose, but with the bottom of my heart. So one thing I like to teach, again, I always back everything I teach up with resources or testimony or personal experience that work. One of the things I teach is emotional equity. Now, emotional equity is something we all have the capacity, unless we're needing medical attention. Again, you come to Patty and you use Patty's tools and resources when you are ready to recover and you have the capacity to take matters into your own hands. So with that being said, I love to teach about emotional equity. We could spend hours talking about emotional equity. That's universal, right? But how do we tap in? How do we go from here to here? one of the things I like to remind and explain and express is that one of the beautiful things about emotions is that they're instant, or they can be. And again, practice makes better, right? Practice makes better. So sometimes we're feeling some sort of way because of our state of mind, and we're feeling emotions that we can't get out of. But believe you me, you do have the potential. It's like going to the gym, right? You have the potential to get healthier. It's not always about what size you are, it's about getting your blood flowing, right? So you have the potential to do that. You could decide not to go to the gym or take a walk or some sort of exercise, even if you are incapacitated and you are in a wheelchair. There are always something you could do, from even as simple as breathing. Even the CDC has the box breathing. I've read and teach about that too. Breathing is very essential. But let's go back to the emotions, okay? Because I love what I do, so I can go all over the place and down a rabbit hole about each particular area of focus. The area of focus of emotions, and again, well, it's not a coaching session, but just a reminder that it can't be. It's an emotion. If you just think of the word, it's motion. And sometimes they can even be ominous. That's why I love the word bittersweet, because sometimes it's just that, right? So again, how do we get to recovery? I like to change your emotions from the lowest vibration, according to Stanford University, which is depression, fear, right? There's also powerlessness. Grief is the bottom of the pit. It's the bottom of the pit, grief. It's right there with all those other vibrations. And again, according to Stanford University studies, these are the lowest vibrations we could have. Also, according to Stanford University studies, and I'm sure other universities too, this is just where I have done my research on, is that with those low vibrations, you can really feel paralyzed. You can feel like you can't even think clearly, actually, because then you become fight or flight, and then you're not even thinking rational. But again, remember that another thing that Stanford University mentioned is that humans have approximately 60,000 thoughts a day. Approximately. Some people have a little bit more, maybe some people have a little less, but this is an average. So with those thoughts paired with thoughts of fearfulness, powerlessness, the grief, the feelings of loss and despair, those really hinder your health. So not just your mindset, but it's a chain reaction. How do we go from there to the highest vibration? Through legacy, right? I'll tell you this. The highest vibration, again, according to Stanford University studies, is appreciation, love, knowledge. Okay, these are just a few things that bring you to the highest vibration, and it's an ebb and flow. It's not realistic to think any human could stay in unless you're sleeping, it's good to stay in a low vibration. But the idea is, if a human is in that low for a long time, they should seek medical attention. It's not good or normal to stay in one vibration all day long. And listen, I'm Patty from New York. Anybody that knows me, coffee needs Patty. I come with zest. I come with life. I like to say I bring death to life. And I am that person that's going to spark your fire. Okay. But I also know how to bring it down, take it easy. Let's discern. Let's talk about it. Okay. Now, these are all tools and resources I like to share. And when you are sharing resources, I look at it as a toolbox, right? And when you have a toolbox, it's good to have a measurement tape, take measurement, discern, right? It's good to have a hammer. Sometimes you just need to nail it. Sometimes you need a screwdriver. You need to really get it in there and make sure it stays. But sometimes you're not going to use them all at the same time. Sometimes you need a screwdriver, not a hammer. So the point is that, like this guidebook, as I call it, it's a toolbox with perspectives that work, either from my certification learning or from testimony. And I just believe it's a very helpful. I receive beautiful feedback. So this is something, again, when you are ready to recover. Now, what's so wonderful about legacy is that when you are remembering your loved ones, right? Whether they are family, and remember, family, they're still in your DNA. So I love that part. But again, I'm not going to get into it. I'm just going to give you a little taste of all the things I like to talk about. If you do use my services or hire me as international speaker, I also am. And again, I like to do workshops. I offer memorial services. They're very exclusive. They're just beautiful. And again, I welcome you to check anything I do out on the internet. But when it comes to legacy, not only is it just so honoring to talk about your loved one, the good stuff. And again, I'm repeating myself. This is not a coaching session. This is just to give you a little insight on how I operate and work and guide. I will meet you halfway. I will meet you halfway as a guide, and we'll do this together, okay? Together in solidarity, and together we all rise. When two or more come together, I'm a woman of faith. What could I tell you? We all have a creator. I call my creator my God. And again, I love to talk about my God, and I welcome all denominations as long as it's in love and kindness. That's what really matters. But we need an anchor, right? And for me, God is an anchor. So if I find that you might be a person who happens to resonate with God, oh yeah, we could talk about that. We could talk about that. But going back to honoring our loved ones, right? With that, remember, if they loved you so, they don't want to see you in a place of grief. And grief is also a measurement of how deep your love is. And again, the contrast, for whatever reason, God made this world this way, or our creator made this world this way. They're beautiful mysteries, right? It's good to be in wonderment, but it's also good to feel. It's important that we go through all the stages of grief. Patty from New York is bringing the seventh stage of grief, which is legacy, the light at the end of the tunnel, recovery through legacy. And through these stories, you could also create your own story, your own traditions. So you're living a life to be remembered. So your legacy continues. Also, your legacy could continue while you're still honoring their legacy. It could be a beautiful blend as well. And that's the greatness, especially if it's family through DNA. So I welcome you to purchase the book. I also have a beautiful newsletter that will be a book coming soon to be announced. I'm very excited about that, but it's going to be a little bit more time because we're adding a little bit more meat to it, but it's beautiful. My newsletters have gotten great reviews, so I'm very excited to share with the world. And I invite you to take a journey into self-discovery, self-love while you are in a time of grief. Remember, mourning are the expressions. So mourning doesn't have to be something sad or a low vibration. Mourning could also be talking about those wonderful times. Again, it's important as a human, according to medical studies, that we do experience all of the stages, right? Susan Kubler, who wrote Death and Dying, she is very well known for the 5 stages of grief, which is, I call the DAFDAFL, but and that's along with stage 6 from David Kessler. We got denial. Denial is important. I'm not going to get into it because we're time limited here and it's not a coaching session, but we also have the anger, right? We got the bargaining, right? We got the depression, we got the acceptance, then we got the finding meaning by David Kessler, and then we have legacy, which that's the icing on the cake. Okay, life is an ebb and flow, and I would just love to summarize all this by sharing a little presentation I put together. And anybody who's interested, just find me on social. I'm all over the place, so you could just Google Miss U Graham and then pick your platform and then DM me. Live generously, and I will send you the PDF presentation. But give me a minute and I'll bring it up. And here we go, because I would love to go through this with everybody. But yeah, this is beautiful. And every morning is a new day. Every morning is a fresh start with new possibilities and opportunities. Embrace it and make the most of it. Morning is something we all inevitably face. Mourning is indeed a part of life that we all must eventually face. It can be a difficult and challenging experience, but it is important to remember that you are not alone. Seek out support from family and friends and reach out to professionals if you need additional help. There are also many online resources available that can provide you comfort and guidance, taking care of yourself and mental health during this essential time. I'm done. Okay. Faith is fundamental. Faith is an important part of many people's lives and can be an essential source of strength, support. It can provide us with a sense of purpose and direction in life, helping us to make sense of the world around us and express our values and beliefs. It can also help us to stay connected to our communities and build meaningful relationships with others. Let a miracle happen. Unfortunately, I can't make a miracle happen, but I can offer you some words of encouragement and hope. Even though it may seem like things are out of your control right now, and remember that you have the power to choose how you respond to the situation. You can take action to make the best of it and try to find the silver lining. Take some time to focus on the things that you are thankful for and use those to help you stay positive, wishing you the best of luck. You have to request it before you get it. It's important to be mindful when submitting a request, providing as much details as possible so it can better serve you. Receiving comes in many forms. Receiving can come in the form of love, compliments, gifts, help, or simple acts of kindness. We can also receive knowledge, education, and wisdom through reading and listening and observing. Receiving is a powerful way to open ourselves to new opportunities and experiences. Life is about living. Life is an incredible journey full of high and lows, joys and sorrows, and opportunities to learn and grow and connect with others. Living life to the fullest means embracing each moment and all of its possibilities, taking risks and seizing opportunities, and appreciating the little moments that make life so special. Life is a blessing. Make the most of it. Legacy is what you'll be remembered by. Legacy is an important part of life, and it is something that we all stay with us long after we are gone. It is the impact that we have on our family, friends, and community, the memories that they will keep with us. It is important to live a life of purpose and contribution so that our legacy can be something that is meaningful and beneficial to those around us. Live your legacy. Live each day with purpose and intention. Make choices that will leave a positive and lasting impression. Be generous with your time, energy, and resources. Find ways to help others and strive to make the world a better place. Take risk and be courageous in your pursuit of dreams. Leave a legacy that will inspire and motivate future generations. Here is my book. My name is Patty from New York. I am the CEO and founder of Mysterygram, and this is Live Your Legacy, also available on Amazon. And here is the QR code. Thank you so much, and have an amazing day.